For talk waiting, for talk but we country, for see how thing they go. If they go good, we say God thank you and we praise the one that will make it they go good. If they go bad, we get for talk but waiting they go bad and see how we can find solution for us the one them where they before how they can able help. I hope so now all they do well. I hope say all man is good and hearty. So I know they waste time today. I get 3 people there with me. Me third person, then I go to the camp. When he ready, I go make on a know by the name of Dr. Aliyu Iskandgi, not a stranger to una, so you don't need any introduction. And me other 2 alleges themselves, they're not a stranger to una, so they don't really need introduction. But I go make them tell una I do. Madaka Kadi Johnson call, tell Fambule I do.
Fambule, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning.
And my next person where I go introduce Tona. Himself back na man where not easy not take and so I know say una self una know am na he go by the name of Mr. Mohammed Shilon. Mr. Shilon, tell Fambul Dado.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. My name is Mr. Shilon, coming from North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Hope we'll go get a nice exchange of ideas. Thank you.
Okay, indeed. A nice exchange of ideas. That's what we are here for. That's what we're all about. And by the grace of God, we hope say we go arrive at this. I know say beaucoup pa una go sit down the wonder say, Bo Matilda, waiting make with all waiting they happen at the country, waiting make right up until now, no one talk about waiting they go on today na this country. Where the tin warm so where hot, they say hit the nail while it is hot. But enough don't know me by now. Sometimes you get for take your time for peel the onions, small, layer by layer. If we jump go usai we fen we self today and we not understand usai we come out for make we reach usai we fen we self today, then it's time wasted. So therefore, as I promised, this now a series. Don't worry, we will get to it in due time with patience. Okay, make we all be ourselves and make we exercise patience. Trust me, we need for understand waiting they go on so that we go take things dear, and see how we all go manage them. So without wasting much time, today we can look into the report, the white paper report of Honorable Mr. Justice William Hanan Atuguba'S Commission of Inquiry into Assets and Other Related Matters in respect to persons who were President, Vice President, Ministers of State, and Deputy Ministers, and heads and chairmen of boards of parastatals, departments, and agencies within the period from November 2007 to April 2018. Now, this document was submitted on September 2020, Volume 2. And I read. Now, beaucoup read, but una no worry, just like last week. I read beaucoup, but we talk beaucoup. Una trust me, we go talk beaucoup. Okay. White paper on the report of the Honorable Mr. Justice William Hanan Atuguba'S Commission of Inquiry 2 inter alia examine the assets and other related matters in respect to persons who were President, Vice President, Ministers of State and Deputy Ministers, and heads and chairmen of boards of parastatals, departments, and agency within the period from November 2007 to April 2018. The Sierra Leone's People Party, SLPP, New Direction government in its commitment and desire to eradicate corruption, mismanagement, and indiscipline in the affairs of government, as well as the recovery of all state assets and properties acquired through unexplained wealth and unjust enrichment by Constitutional Instrument number 67 of 2018, published in the supplements of the Sierra Leone Gazette, volume blah 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 076, dated 27th December 2018, instituted a commission of inquiry, examination, inquiry and investigation, notice 3/2018, with Honorable Mr. Justice William Atuguba'S as chairman and sole commissioner, in order to 1. Examine the assets and other related matters in respect of persons who were presidents, vice presidents, ministers of state, and deputy ministers, and 2. Heads and chairmen of board of parastatals, department and agency within the period from November 27 to April 2018. B. Inquires into inquire into and investigate whether assets were acquired lawfully or unlawfully. C. Inquire into persons who were presidents, vice presidents, ministers of state, and deputy ministers. And C2, heads and chairmen of boards of parastatal departments and agency. D. Ascertain as to whether the persons referred to in subparagraphs A and C maintain a standard of life above that which was commensurate to their official emoluments. No, emoluments. Sorry, emoluments. Owned or were in control of resources or properties of their official emolument, or their evidence of corruption, dishonesty, or abuse of office of private benefits by them, collaborated with any persons in respect to such corruption, dishonesty, or abuse of office, acted willfully or complacently in such a manner as to cause financial loss or damage to the government, local authorities, or parastatals, including the public corporation, acquired directly or indirectly financial or material gains, fraudulently, improperly, or willfully, to the detriment of the government, local authorities, or a parastatal, including a public corporation, statutory commission, body, or any universities. E. To inquire into and investigate any persons or matter as may from time to time referred to the commissions by His Excellency the President. 2. So that then number 1, the priorities or the parameters then within which this person therefore investigates. So and then our section 1. Now, section 2, the commission has submitted its reports on the assets and other related matters in respect to persons who were presidents, vice presidents, ministers of state, and deputy ministers, and heads of chairman and board of parastatal departments and agency within the period from November 2007 to April 2018. And government has since reviewed the report and recommendation therein. 3. Government wishes to reiterate its commitment in the fight against corruption and public malfeasance, as well as restoring decency, accountability, transparency, and good governance in the administration of our country. 4, accordingly, it is hoped that public officers would learn from the findings of the commissions of inquiry. Now, I can't start the assets proper, but I can't talk to me 2 lawyers then within IASO, and also the one way also not a lawyer. Waiting una understand by all them big terms here, so way I don't lay down. In a nutshell, if una can use one minute for tell the people them waiting have been the role, the responsibility of this particular commissioner. Mr. Shilon, I will start with you, sir.
Well, it looked like the role very broad based upon what you just read. I personally not read the report yet because I've not been able to lay my hand on them. But it look over says it's a wide range of inquiry by this particular commission. And well, simply put, whether you acquire assets improperly, illegally, unjustifiably during your time of office that you know must have been improper for acquire and the means by which you use for get them, and for be able to, it boils down to just simple accountability. I mean, you are appointed to a certain position. You are now then subsequent to the appointment, and at the end of that appointment, they then say it appears as if you acquire assets unlawfully, so they just want your account. So basically, in simple terms, for ordinary people, then that's all it is. So what you come with, what you left with, and how you get them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I go to Madam Johnson Cole. Waiting are you take layman's term? Waiting we been the expect, or waiting have been the limits of the court.
Well, this COI within campus, just like we see Mr. Shilon say, it's like when you left somebody in a shop, say, I left you in my shop, can't sell for me. When you come back, you want to know how much the person don't sell, and you want to know if anything missing there or if everything correct. So basically, that is what they're doing here. Is they by asking the people, make them can complain and make them can report to them after waiting everything they don't do, so they go examine them and know say if they may do things properly. Yes, in line with waiting they may want them to do. They want to make sure that everything correct, nothing, no laws and all that. Basically, that's just what we're going to talk about.
Dr. Iskandri, 1 minute, what says you?
Well, from a lawyer's perspective, this is a very broad-based terms of reference, most of which is vague. For example, subsection C says, inquire into persons who were president, vice president, ministers of state, and deputy ministers, and heads of and chairmen of boards and parastatals, departments and agencies. Inquire into them for what? That is so vague, it can be interpreted into anything. Now, my understanding is that they want to examine the assets of these people, where they got these assets from, would have been bills, who say pull the money for build the house, would have been buy 10 motorcar, who say pull the money for buy 10 motorcar, would have been take 20 trips outside of the country, would have been go find medical help outside of the country, who say pull the money for pay for that medical help day. And the purpose for this investigation now for find out whether or not any of these people maintain a standard of living above which was not commensurate with their official emoluments, which basically means the life where you've been they live, the money where they pay you, you fit live that life there. That's number one. Whether also then people there own or get control over assets way over and above waiting at them and then wages, someone then they pay them, and they can't prove that they get the money from somewhere else. Whether the person there collaborate with other person there for engage in acts of corruption, whether the person there acted willfully for cause financial loss and damage to the government, whether the person there acquire financial or material gains fraudulently, improperly, or willfully to the detriment of the government. So on our basis, they nine we talk about. But again, I must re-emphasize that this Commission of Inquiry report is one, it's supposed to be investigatory, not prosecutorial.
Okay.
The Commission of Inquiry not get powers to prosecute, nor do they have powers to sentence or sanction. They have powers to investigate and make recommendations. And so when, let me just finish this point, please.
Okay.
When this government come up and start giving out orders, if you not go apply for appeal, you cannot really appeal to the commissions of inquiry because they are quasi-judicial body. They don't have the power of courts per se. You understand? And whatever recommendations they make are not appealable. They might be subject to motions for reconsideration, but not necessarily an appeal. Appeal from what? From an investigation that makes recommendations. Are you appealing from the recommendations? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Indeed, I think it's been very clear that the commissions of inquiry, they're not set them up for prosecute. I think that's been made clear. Then set them up for investigate and for recommend. And I think that's what they've done. I think they've investigated and they've made recommendations. Now it is left to the state to accept those recommendations and then follow through by, through prosecution within our court system, or reject the recommendation and not follow through. So as we go before we go to talk about that, but make a carry on with the report.
But let me disagree with you here first.
Can you hold it until we come back, just so?
I just don't want to forget. I'm an older guy, not as old as Mr. Shillon, but I'm an older guy and I have lapses in memory.
30 seconds, sir. 30 seconds.
Okay, so I got 30 seconds. The government, in order to maintain transparency, no need for interpret the Commission of Inquiry report. The white paper is a farce. It is government's own interpretation of a legal document. Doesn't make sense. If this government wants to give credibility to this Commission of Inquiry, release the report of the judges. When you release the report of the judges, then you can have a more thorough investigation by the Anti-Corruption Commission, indictment, trials. If people are found guilty, they are sanctioned. They face penal sanctions. But this government wants to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I'm done with that for right now.
I said, Mr. Shiller, Mr. Iskandri, I'll hold you there. Okay, let's go on page 4. On page 4 of the report now. Asset investigations, unexplained wealth, and unjust enrichment by public officials between November 2007 and April 2018. Sylvester R. Usman Hansels, former Deputy Minister of A, Energy, B, Education, Science and Technology, and C, Transport and Aviation between 2009 and May 2018. The government accepts this recommendation. The commission finds that this person of interest did not dishonestly acquire any asset or live a lifestyle beyond his legitimate means during his tenure of office. And we go on to 2. Ahmed Bakar Kamara, former managing director, Commerce and Mortgage Bank, 2017 to 2019. Government rejects this recommendation. Government directs the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate the assets of Ahmed Bakar Kamara and particularly unexplained wealth and unjust enrichment. The commission found that this person of interest received huge payment of money in connection to the commerce and bank investments in land properties, and this has been dealt with under that part of this report relating to that matter. 3. Abdul Aziz Kamara, former Director General of Sierra Leone Roads Authority. Government notes that the total emolument during his tenure of 165,807,000. This figure is right. This figure, if right, is difficult to reconcile with the statement of his emoluments. That since all his financial energies were sapped by the construction of the house at number 19 Old Aberdeen Road, Lumley, he had no residue of honest sources from which to acquire the house situated at 21 Old Aberdeen Road, Lumley, Freetown. The government accepts this recommendation. In this circumstance, I recommend that the other assets of this person of interest be scrutinized by other public authorities, such as the Anti-Corruption Commission, which is not jurisdictionally fitted like the commission. The evidence regarding his assets as contained in his exit declaration form, Exhibit BJ7, contrasts with that of the other asset declaration form which have been tendered in evidence before this commission's, namely Exhibit 8 to 10. However, for the reasons already given above, the house covered by Exhibit BJ6 aforementioned was dishonestly acquired by this person of interest and should therefore be confiscated and vetted in the state. So, Mr. Shillon, sir, so we see situations where the states, they accept one, proclamation, and in other side, they reject proclamations them and say they ask for the Anti-Corruption Commission for investigate, for confiscate, if need be, and whatnot. So my question to you would be, is government, by government saying they accept this recommendation, does it automatically become a prosecutorial matter?
Based upon me, your understanding of the rules as they set the commissions the yonder, and what is so confusing, sometimes I always get a problem with the way then the procedural manner in going about things, because it seems to me what in Dunaya, they inject some things into the constitution and then talk, say, well, it appears as if, as Mr. Iskandri said earlier, the commissions then get quasi courts authority for proceed, but then say, well, but if they find the people them accountable, they have a right. I think they use the word appeal. And then they get a right to the right of appeal. What confuses me is whether that means the right to a trial. Whether in law we could say de novo, like trial all over again. Yeah. Whether they get to go through the same process, whether they go through the commission, or whether literally an appeal and the appeal, because when they appeal, when they go strictly by the record, there will be no testimony, no fresh evidence, unless they make some exceptions, like newly discovered evidence or this kind of things. But again, by the rules, I don't know what the exceptions may be, but then they keep using the word appeal. If you appeal, you are going strictly by the record, already established at the lower court, which I understand say the commission was operating as a court. But otherwise, it would seem to me the appropriate thing to do, which would be some kind of duplicity, but if you want to get in what you call due process, they will have to have a de novo hearing or a de novo trial, which means all over again. So now, what is also confusing, when Mr. Iskandri talked about the report, well, again, it appears as if the Constitution, which I really didn't see why they should have been so detailed, give the government the authority to pick and choose and to summarize each commission's their report. And the summary, I think, in other words, the summary they call white paper, because the white paper seems to be a summary of the commissioners' report. So now, if by the own lawyer and that give the government the power or the president the power for do that, then, well, the president act within the law. But I just think it's not too much power that one day. But if they say he get the power for pick and choose and do a summary, which is called another name, called a white paper, then they are acting within the law as they prescribe by under. The other thing where I think they should, which is a little confusing, because the basic understanding of what the inquiry is, to me, is simple. Whether people have enriched themselves unjustly. I mean, the long and short of it. Now, because that's why I sent that video, because maybe at some point you could see him, to me that the former Solicitor General or Attorney General of Zambia, I mean, he has the simplest explanation of corruption to me, you know. And if things where you not be get, where you couldn't afford, or wealth where you not be the display, you begin for display them only when you hold government office, there is reason to believe that you're being corrupt. And as a public official, I see nothing wrong with you being pursued. The only things here will therefore make sure, say, people are given due process. But you cannot allow people, first of all, this is just my personal opinion.
Right.
It is absolutely ridiculous and brazen for people to go into government and display, you know you're stealing, and you have the audacity to publicly display wealth that you know you never had. And even if you were a rich man, if you never display such wealth, in we own profession, I think Mr. Iskandri will agree with me, to us, every rule with the right, they say you get to do something, we not forget the appearance of. You don't necessarily have to be corrupt, but in law, appearance is reality. So it's hard to understand how you can go into government, you build 2-3 houses at the same time. I mean, forget about just the audacity of doing that. Even if, Creole people say, if you yam's wife, cover, I mean, what is all this rush when you're in power that you have to start building 2-3 houses and living a fancy life? And then you complain when the Commission of Inquiry and say, oh, this is unfair. This is a witch hunt. Well, I take exception to that. I don't think it's a witch hunt. The American man say, if it looks like a dog, walks like a dog, quacks like a dog, it must be a dog. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will continue on with the reading. Dr. Matthew M. Timbo, former Minister of Labor and Social Security. The Commission pursues his asset declaration form and found nothing questionable. The commission also examined his salary details, which can amply justify his acquisition of the properties referred to above. Government accept this recommendation. I find nothing dishonest in the affairs of this person of interest during his tenure as Minister of Labour. Leonard Balongo Koroma, former Minister of State in the Office of the Vice President, November 2007 to November 2009, and Minister of Transport and Aviation, June 2013 to April 2018. The Commission found that this person of interest said that he used the 200,000 derived from the sales of his property at number 154 D. Wilkinson Road in 2012 to develop his property at Takoradi Corner, Yengema Kono. But his affidavit of 8th November 2019 said that he constructed the said property from 2008 to 2015. What the Commission found perplexing is how could the proceed from the sale of 2012 be used for the cost of construction over the years that preceded 2012, namely 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011. In addition, he proposed in an affidavit that one A.M. Bokari owned the house at
Bambaila.
Thank you. At Bangbaila Hill Station, from whom he intended buying it and had a site plan and building permit issued in his name. However, he abandoned his intent to purchase it on realizing that the said A.M. Bokari was a lessee and not an owner of the said house. Strangely, he declared his house in
Now this house. He declared this house.
Yeah, he declared this house in his asset declaration form, dated 26 October 2017. The Commission notes that if he had indeed abandoned this property because the owner, therefore, was a lessee, how did he erect a flat on it, since he says that he only had a site plan and building permit issued in his name at the time that he allegedly abandoned it? So there is a lot of unclarity here, back and forth, dubiousness, obviously, as you can see. So we go on to government accept the following recommendation. From the above analysis, I find that the person of interest dishonestly acquired the house and land situated at Alska Drive, Bambaila Hill Station, Freetown, see Exhibit BH3, and the house and land at Takoradi Corner, Yengema Kono, and should be confiscated and vetted in the state. As to his pecuniary asset, time will not allow the Commission to adequately scrutinize them, and same should be dealt with by the Anti-Corruption Commission. Again, something is being deferred again to the Anti-Corruption Commission to be dealt with. We go on plots of land. This person of interest deposed that during his tenure as a minister, he and his wife purchased an empty plot of land at Lunge, which is underdeveloped. List of an empty plot of land at Toke Western Rural District, and a list of an empty plot of land at Regent Western Urban District. Vehicle. The commission found that this person of interest owned 7 private and 1 commercial vehicles. However, this person of interest denied having that number of vehicles in his affidavit of 8th November 2019, stressing that he only owned a gray Toyota Sequoia, a white Cherokee, and a Ford Explorer 2004. The government accepts the recommendation. As to his vehicles' ownership, of which he had denied, they should also be confiscated and vetted in state. Bank accounts. Inspector Brima Kroma tendered in evidence that person of interest bank accounts from Commerce and Mortgage Bank Sierra Leone, Exhibit BH7, and Guaranteed Trust Bank Sierra Leone Exhibit BH8. The government accepts this recommendation. Time constraints aforesaid required that this other assets referred to above be investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So now we are Mr. Aliyu, I'm seeing a pattern where these commissions were set up to investigate certain things. Almost midway or tail end investigation, they deferred back to the Anti-Corruption Commission to carry on the investigation and to dig in further. So my question here is, all the investments and all the monies that's been poured into setting up the Commission of Inquiry, if only at this junction to always be diverting or deferring back to or defecting back to the ACC anti-corruption, why didn't they just booster the finances of the anti-corruption? Look at the Lara Taylor Pierce report. Look at some of the international forensic reports that came out, and just have the local authority, i.e. the ACC, investigate this matter instead of setting up these commissions.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a historical background. The commissions of inquiry were part of the 1991 Constitution. At the time the 1991 Constitution was created, there was no anti-corruption commission. When the Anti-Corruption Commission was created, that made commissions of inquiry redundant under the Constitution. They should have been dropped. That's number one. Number two is this. We have failed to build the institutions that we have created. The Anti-Corruption Commission being that. I don't think the Anti-Corruption Commission has 10 or 15 lawyers there. I will be constrained to say they don't have more than 15 lawyers there. I will be constrained to say they don't have more than 15 investigators there. If you are literally pay all this money to an anti-corruption commission, pay the judges, pay the lawyers, you understand? Then the Anti-Corruption Commission, Commission of Inquiry make an order. Then that and then now you send that order there what the Anti-Corruption Commissioner make. Now you send up to Anti-Corruption, the order what the Commission of Inquiry make, you send up to Anti-Corruption Commission for investigate. That's not a waste of funds. It's a waste of time. I agree with you fully. And I've been not saying this from the beginning. There was no need for a commission of inquiry. We know say people then thief money. We know say beaucoup people them corrupt. What we they say is, if we want to punish them, do them under the law. First, investigate them. The same thing where the Commission of Inquiry do. If we employ investigators in the Anti-Corruption Commission, they will do that and an even better job. Then, after you investigate them, then you bring indictments against them. Then you prosecute them. Then, if they find them guilty, they face penal sanctions. Anti-Corruption Commission was a waste of time. We should have had no need to bring in these judges, with the exception of Justice Bankole Thompson, who is a Sierra Leonean. We should have had no need to bring in Justice Biobele, Justice Atuguba'S. We should have had no need to bring those people in, because I can tell you one thing. We probably paid those two people almost $500,000, just those two, for the period of time they spent in Sierra Leone. It makes no sense. Absolutely not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
One other thing before I go. If you notice another trend in the reports, there's an I there. There's an I. I have recommended this. Who is this I? Who is this I? Is this I a lawyer? Or is this I an administrative assistant? Or someone that is within the government that wants to make these decisions? Who is this I? Why is the I not identified? Do you see the I that I'm talking about? No? Go back to your report. Go back to the report. Just post it. Where it talks about the recommendations, just post it.
Is there a page number?
I don't have the exact page number in front of me, but just post it. Go up a little bit. Go up.
Page 9?
You started from here?
Page 9? I make no adverse findings of dishonest against.
Yes, I
Is the
make
commission?
no adverse findings.
Is the
Who is
commission?
that I?
I believe it's the commissioner.
It's the Justice Atuguba'S is the I.
Google, because that's his report. It's a summary. It's a summary of his
Yes.
report. So therefore, the report stated his name. I would
Wait a
assume
second. Is this
that
the white paper or the judge's report?
it is him speaking.
It is the white paper or the judge's report?
It's
No.
one and the same. The judge and
What I think has happened here, yes, let me say something. What I think has happened here is they don't do the report, the government then it's like then try for compile them and bring them in their own words. But waiting, in fact, I get some difficulties with this report where they read them. You see, at some point, they ask myself if this report was exactly what was said by Atuguba'S or some slight changes were made. Because sometimes, let me finish, because sometimes when I looked at some of it, the construction and all that, you see, it make me wonder, say, you see, some aspects of it not look like a lawyer item. You get me? Yes, because you see some mistakes and you see something and the way it make you doubt a bit if maybe someone was rewriting it and then putting what they want, you understand? That's how it seems to me. That may not have been the case, you get me? But that's what it seems to me, you understand? And let me go back because I've not been getting the opportunity for speak with Mr. Shillon, they talk. I fully agree with Mr. Shillon what he say, because we cannot say because of we lost them at the diaspora. Because waiting they happen at the diaspora get for being in Africa. Every country gets waiting and they do. You get me? They get waiting and they do. And in terms of, because I'm not going to get opportunity for say something, in terms of like
I'm coming to you, don't worry.
Pardon?
I'm coming to you, don't worry.
Oh no, it's just waiting and they don't say in the past. Now that's what they say. You get me? You see, because it's like, because I know some aspects I cannot say exactly when, but some aspects of I think it was the Constitution or something, gave those judges powers for their decisions to be treated as a high court decision. You get me? Yes, they've got that mandate. You get me? So as a result of that mandate, that is why people can appeal. You get me? Because they've got the mandate. And if the mandate says the decision is going to be taken as a high court decision, you get me? Then that is why they have to appeal, because they cannot just go and pay monies that, especially some of them, not believe, say, and take something. You get me? Then they go pay now. That means that the admin says, yes, I take them. You see, so they are taking advantage of the appeal process now, the court of appeal. So when they go appeal there now, then they go clear their name, you see, if they're able to, because at the end of the day, you see, it's left with the court, because no one can judge what the court will ever say. Any lawyer tell you, say, that's so the court they go say, left that lawyer, they go for another lawyer, because nobody able to predict waiting the court they say, waiting the judge they say. But all they can do is they go appeal. So they have a right to appeal, because the commission, the judges were empowered to make the decisions, you understand, as a high court judge decision. You see, so that's the reason why. And then in terms of, say, waste of funds, you see, yeah, waste of funds in the sense that where they're not finished, because it would be nice to know why they're not finished. Is it because they were not paid, or sometimes the arrangement with them get not being proper? Is it because if you bring people then for calm investigate, you expect them for do everything done? You get me? You see, so, but we don't know. There must be a very good reason if you make them left and say then they go. Then in terms of, again, say why then go take them judges and they come on, we all know what did happen at SALONE. Maybe it may not have worked the way we want, but there is a very good reason why. Maybe then go take judges, because a lot of lawyers that can compromise. You see, because we don't see that in this Samsumana's case. You get me? In other cases, lawyers that they compromise. You get me? You see, with the job. So perhaps that is why then go say let them bring other people and can hopefully that these people don't know no one, then go just go and do it objective and do things how it's supposed to be. I think that is how I understand it. And then another thing where Dr. Shilon say back is, oh my God, I've gone off easy. Okay. Anyway, I'll leave it as it is. You understand? I don't know, you went there, you see, but at least I've given you some insight as to waiting, bring this appeal, you understand?
Right.
We make the appeal, the judge, because the judge then decision, legislation say, then gets that power as High Court judge, you understand? And then Francis Ben Kafala now, in they do, if they investigate certain things, then because they're not done, it's a good one. But what people fail to realize is, Francis Ben Kafala, he gets enormous statutory powers under this new Amendments Constitution Act 2008 and 2019. They come into effect in February 2020. You get me? He gets enormous powers. Yes, Hassan. Yes. He get let nobody make any bones or joke about it. It gets enormous power, because I went through the Constitution for the first time. I looked at it, you understand? It gets powers, you understand? It's just that if, they exercise on it. But if you choose for exercise them powers, Parliament don't get the powers then. It gets them, you see? Because then pass on a Parliament, now act, you see? So it gets all them powers then. So basically is we have to be careful how we compare we judiciary now with over there. We don't. It doesn't have to be like us in the diaspora. Just like way Dr. Shilon say. Yes, they be so, because every court gets how they do their own. You get me?
Right. Okay. Yeah, true. It not go be exactly like how the thing they go over here, but we also for remember say. Sierra Leone gets a hybrid, system. So in that hybrid system, you are able to pull and put and sort of, juxtapose and bring things together. I'm reading on Mohammed King, I think that's well, yeah. 6, Mohammed King Koroma, former statistician general, 4th November 2012 to 30th June 2017. And this now waiting and say the commission found that this person of interest has 2-story building in Freetown and 3 one-flat unfinished dwelling structure at New Potloko, Rogbere Junction Highway, Magbe Lelo Village, Mafuki Chiefdom in the Potloko district. They are beg if I butcher on a village or district, the name on a pad in this Creole picking.
But you for ask some of we don't live na them place then they.
Well,
Now Magbele lol. And lol meaning small. That means small Magbele.
It will kind of be disruptive if I always differ for enough for pronounce and for me. So make I the pronounce and that make I don't beg pardon. So once I don't beg pardon, it is okay. Make them take me as it be. The commission notes that his total earnings as Statistician General is 1,512 million. However, before that, he was a teacher from 1980 to 1984, from which he earned a total of 150 million. His acquisition of the 2 sets of property commenced only during his tenure as Statistician General. He expanded 2,100,000,000 on the property and at New Potloko Rogbere Junction Highway. Magbelolo, now so they told me just now, they said Magbelolo Chiefdom. Magbelolo Village, Mafuki Chiefdom in the Potloko district.
No, I didn't say that. I said Magbele lol. Magbele lol.
Magbele lol. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, people, you know what? Here is it, people. You know what? Magbelolo, Magbele lol, Magbe, una know una village. Una know it they say, una follow the reading. Okay? I am trying here. Okay? These pronunciations are not my strong forte. I try. Okay, let's go on. Even accepting his own, junction, in Potloko district, even accepting his own evidence that he spent 250 million to acquire the property in Freetown, the acquisition of this property far exceeded his legitimate income, including purchase price disclosed in respect of the property at New Potloko. Someone serious right now. Sorry, people. At New Potloko, so I don't know why someone would dare call my phone at this time. Anyways, the devil is a liar. Where was I? At New Potloko, Rogbere Junction Highway. It is noted that beyond the conveyance in respect to the land at New Potloko Junction Highway, there is no evidence from the person of interest showing the source of his private income. Government accepts this recommendation. From all the above considerations, I find that the 2 sets of property covered by exhibits BK and BK1 were dishonestly acquired by the person of interest while he was the Statistician General of Sierra Leone and should be confiscated and vetted in the state. Ali Kamara, former resident minister of the North, 2007 to 2018, the government accepts the recommendation. Since this matter is also before the Anti-Corruption Commission, the actual period and the ramification of BK20 and BK21 can be ascertained thereof. I, however, find nothing dishonest about his acquisition of his plot of land covered by Exhibit EK22 aforementioned. Indeed, the evidence before the commission is that the investigators could not locate the property. Madam Carrie Johnson, we don't begin to use some big number, and we don't begin to see side, people, their money not equal. Waiting then work legally. Waiting government tally say, okay, from the time where they begin work so and so term to so and so term to now, where the investigation, where then they investigate them for the money, where then they claim say, or the assets or the material wealth, where then they claim say they get, commensurable to the money where then they work, where them in the earn, where then they in office. So what thing you think? This now one big one. I'm not saying the person is guilty. I'm just saying based on what we are seeing here, it looks like we have to go deeper.
Yeah. So I can pick any names, eh?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Any name. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. So some of them think they are so yeah. We when you look at some of the names, we're not going to just dispute everything that's said here. You see, because when you look at you don't look at some of the people then where they investigate, particularly those people, then forward a sworn affidavit. You understand? And in the sworn affidavit, you expect everything within the affidavit. So you don't swear I'm on oath, you see, so it's correct. You get me and all that. And then when you look at what is on when you look at the sworn affidavits, and then you look at some of what they say, there is so much of inconsistency, you see, because for example, like when you look at take Logos Koroma, for example, from waiting and tell Yasu, Logos Koroma get a house, it get this house, it sell a house for $200,000 US in order for go develop the property na Yengema. Get me? So if he do that, that was in 2012. Now he sell this property Yasu for go build na. Then it goes swear affidavit and say the affidavit was sworn on the 8th of November. Yes, on the 8th of November, I think 2018. Inside the affidavit, it say it don't make a, where is this logo? I was looking at Chemosity. Yeah, sorry. Where is logo score, man? Yeah. 2012, it said that on the sworn affidavit dated 8th November 2019, it say it construct the property from 2008 to 2015. So it took him 7 years to construct that property where he began construct 2008. But then in earlier statement was that he sold 154D Wilkinson Road, 2012, for making go develop yonder. You see, so it's not consistent at all, you see, and all that. Waiting affidavits they tell we, not to that, it's totally different. You see what I mean? It's totally different. So it don't gone back because how you don't go sell property 2010 for us where you say you don't begin Bilam 2018, but at the time you say you only sell that house day for let go able for go build that one day. You get me? Unless you understand and get it wrong somewhere, unless it try for say if you don't begin the build the house small in 2008 and not get money, then it go sell in 2012 for go down, but not what is written here. You get me? You say so. It no look. So it's very easy for let them say for back then say. Able account. So I can see where Justice Atuguba come out. You get me? I'm not going to say Justice Atuguba treat them badly on any way. He only go by what is in front of him, you understand? What did they present to him, now a look, you understand? Because now a look, and when apart from these logos as well, you understand? Just like you can't talk chemistry as well, you see. So it's like waiting and they say it's completely different to waiting there. And so we not go blame the judges then. If the judges then come, the findings happen for be the way it happened now. You get me? It's because they say one thing, look like another property where logos say, ain't go for Bayam. Ain't go for go Bayam. But when he go for go Bayam, he realize the person where they sell on the AB, DM camera or something, Koma. Not a freeholder, you see. Now let's see. Now you see the property na a lease property, you see. But then it sworn affidavit say yes, they say a build property, a build a flat. Now that same property where EB say EB don't abandon. You see the whole thing is, could it be that that's what brought me to think that maybe for say the mistake when they write this white paper, that is why it is important for us to see the report. Because when we see the report, then we see exactly what was said, what was written by this judge. These judges are competent judges. To get to that level in law, you understand?
Yeah.
Very competent. So sometimes whether they type on they're not typing things that good. I strongly believe so many mistakes they find this year because some of these things are the struggle for put meaning to them. And they even read between the lines where it's not my job to read between the lines or put meaning. Because for read what's in the judge and tell me, you get me. So the whole thing is seriously questionable, this white paper, not because we are questioning the fact that they investigate people. Them no, you see, I am all for it 100%. You thief, you see, you pay the money or you do the time. You understand? But let's get things right. You understand? In some of these, I don't look some of them in Ayasu. You they see the way how they treat some people. In fact, we not get enough information. Some of them here, then they tell we say, okay, then take this thing. Some people then we don't know who stand and begin get work, who stand and go to the ministry, who stand and start for work. We are not told when they start for work at the ministry. We are not told what the properties, the way they say, then talk about. We were not told what are the cost of these properties, you see. But yet we are told decisions taken that, you understand, these people are not found, they are not wanting, or these people, they're okay, you see. But we don't know how they come to that conclusion. We don't see figures and all that thing. We don't know what's in property court. We don't know who stand this policy begin.
Very good.
Yes, you see. So we have to anyway. Let me get somebody else time for talk. I'm sorry about it.
Thank you very much for that observation. Then indeed, when you collect the figures them and you put them together and you see waiting the person be done talk or waiting the alleged say the person be done bring as sworn affidavit before and waiting the person bring as exhibits and whatnot and waiting and they talk. You kind of question, okay, was there a mistake? Is there a typo? Is there a mistake in understanding or interpretation? But here is my thing. For me, if me have been the judges then, and then say that they write a white paper report in my name, as a sitting and living judge, somebody who we don't serve at the bench, we don't make decisions them where they affect people their life, I will not authorize the publication of that report if I not vet first waiting then at that report day. Because it's your name at the end of the day. Yes, you came to serve a sovereign nation. Yes, you're working under, within the framework of a constitution of a sovereign nation and its courts of law. But at the end of the day, remember the first thing we write na that paper na your name. Now your name. So you not go allow for make them publish something under your name if you know first the content.
Matilda, let me come in here. Matilda, let me come in here. You understand? Let us not blame this judge. You understand? They have done the job we didn't call them for can do. They don't pile up the thing. You see the boxes they're so high. They don't hand over. You understand? They not get business with parliament, with laws then say. You understand? We lost them say, when they don't do them, when the commission don't do, then hand up over. You see, that the government are according to we on law say, no, wait a minute. The government according to we on law say, they've got 6 months You understand? For the government for response to the recommendation. These people, they've left, they've gone. You see, they're not there for cancer, and the man not sign, he not sign, he don't do waiting and do the signature, then all the things that we don't do, the piles of documents. What this government should have done was to release all this, because then just paraphrase, waiting and put my yasu. You understand? You don't get nothing to do with Atuguba. Atuguba, you don't do a short in signature the whole day, and then one day. You get me? This not just government, some of them just go pick 2, 3 things and put where I thought that's what right, and that's what the same thing where Mr. Shilon talked at first, although conversat with the B because in the cab, you understand, but it expects them for don't pull all the reports out. Let people then read, you understand. So this has nothing to do with the judges, you understand. They've done their own part, they've signed it off, they've given it's in red band. You see, if you don't look at I think it's red band. If you see where they go to court, where barristers and they tie them bundles, you understand? In a bundle, they tie them in red bands and all those things. You see, so they tie them there and left and give them, you understand? They've done their job, they've gone. It's the government income for doing your white paper. That has nothing to do with the judges. Let's try and just correct aside it. Yeah,
okay. So that's your take, but me from also standing from where I'm standing from.
Oh yeah.
Not any judge when you've made your dissent. And when you don't come with a ruling and recommendation, and when something is being published under your name, that demand for take a first look at it before it's published. That's just my take. We don't have to agree on it, but I think by principle, any judge, when something is tied to your name, I think that's what you ought to do. But if they not do that, saying that their mandate was just to inquire, make the recommendation, bundle it up in the red tape and hand it over to the authorities, and they wash their hands and that is it, even though they were cognizant of the fact that a white paper will ensue out of those reports, then I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. I think it's a job.
No, we have. No, these judges, no, Matilda, these judges, you get me? No, wait a minute.
We can come back to it. I just want to
but I can make me point here, so you understand it. Like not just sit down, they keep quiet like dumb pussy, we don't know nothing. You get me? The point is, then judges then yasu, you get me? What guarantee that these judges don't know say they put something under a name? You understand? He wouldn't know. No high court judge, even the ordinary lay lawyer, say, if you understand, will not append in signature and nothing we in not sure of. Let alone then judges know say that they can put something under their name. If then people have to go type, these judges will not even know. You understand? If then they write white paper, then they write according to the way they want to write. You understand? Maybe the way they set it out in the front page. You understand? It makes it look as if it's Atuguba and other. But these judges are not even aware that it is set in this way. You understand? They are going to set white paper, but they're not aware they say they set on this way and put on the, you understand? But the long and short about the whole thing is the judges don't have their signatures appended to this paper document. So it don't mean anything, because if they type and put a name, they dare not sign them. You get me? What matters most in law is signature. You understand? If it not sign them, then just go to anybody can type anything. Mr. Shilon, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody can type anything. It's not append in signature day. You understand? Now, if it be append in signature day, then go say, oh, you append your signature. You understand? But if you now go write something, say, now wait then just go court waiting the matter. But when you go to the real document, their signatures are there. You get me? The one way they do the signature day. So we not go. This is not just ordinary with some way and just go type. So it not get much to do with them. Is it, Mr. Shilon? Please correct me, sir.
Now, there is nothing there to correct, except for the fact that I just wonder, Miss Matilda, if you don't mind, can I just take 1 minute?
Go ahead. Okay. Let's.
I just wonder.
I'll give you a minute because I want to keep reading. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wonder. See, anything you do in life, you get for set ground rules if you want to arrive at a fair and just conclusion. Otherwise, if you just set the rules as you go along, you will create the kind of problems we're going to run into. So why was it necessary for a white paper to be drawn up? Because the white paper, as I said earlier, is definitely a summary of the commission's report. The trouble is, if I do a piece of work and someone else summarizes it, they may be correct to a certain point, but they may not be totally correct because not true then are the original author of the document. So this is the problem we don't get now. So the white paper and a summary, just like Ms. Kadi say, it's quite possible in trying to summarize it, there is some kind of misstatement of facts, occurrences, where now they create problem. The other problem one I see now, I'm still struggling with this idea. If the commissions they were to proceed on that, were they operating under the regular rules of court? Because it appears as if
they never actually agreed on the rules of court committee. That is one issue, that contending issue that the opposing side, or let me say persons of interest, lawyers representing persons of interest are still haggling over.
So then they proceed under the standard rules of court in Australia? Is that what it is?
No, they were not proceeding under the standard rules of court. That's what makes it a quasi-judicial body. They were also not proceeding under the standard rules of evidence. And that also is another reason why they're a quasi-judicial body.
So, but what rules were they going by? They still have to have rules.
Yes, they were going by...
Quasi or not, there has to be rules.
They were going by ad hoc rules. They just make up their rules as they go along.
Okay.
There were rules developed prior to the establishment or the commencement of the commissions of inquiry. However, those rules were not equally agreed on by both parties.
Wow.
Right. Wait till me understand there, you see. Actually they get to the because another understand so I don't know, man just they pick no more and listen and read and read call. But from waiting, hearing what they are saying, you see, they are claiming that one side they say this same thing when they criticize now. I'm gonna be very, very objective here. And I believe I will make enemies, you understand? But if I make enemies for the truth, so be it. You get me? You understand? One side they say, they forget a step, they forget a rule, they forget set that rule in. Another side they say, wait a minute, you are complaining about this, but this is what you did in previous past commissions. If you write for now, do one at the first commission, then do one at the second commission, all the commission, then they do one. What makes it bad for let them do one now? You understand? And not only that, the judges. I saw one of it briefly, although I did not have enough time because I was busy to follow it. But I'm not saying at one time, the judges, they sat about it, they discussed it, you understand? They used it, but they went along, you understand? The rules of court, the normal rules, but as they go along, you see, they try to modify or do it according to. But whatever they did, they were empowered to do. So far from what I've been hearing, I'm not there. You understand? That's from what I was hearing. Although making feel to say, if they don't do something, just because people then do something, say it wrong, it corrects. That don't mean say if people can correct them, they're not for correct them. You see, but what that bother me a little bit here with some confusion to me, you understand? If it was right at the time, then this same people were in government complaining about this same thing now. You understand? You get me? It is so that is why some of these people are finding it difficult to understand. But if it was good, now you wanna be they do all that and wait a minute when they can and thing whether they investigate wanna say it not good. You see,
okay,
it's not what I said. I'm just repeating what they said.
Okay.
You understand?
So from what I understand, I'm gonna keep reading.
I just repeat it and see.
Right. I'm gonna keep reading. From what I understand, I believe that there hasn't been an established rules of court committee ever. And therefore, this was the first time that persons representing persons of interest were demanding for rules of court committee. And the argument from the other side, which was the state, was, well, there has never been a rule of court committee, and there have been, commissions of inquiry in the past. So what's the big deal? And so the defense of people being persecuted now, or people, found wanting, or apparently being found wanting, their representatives are saying, just because such has never been established doesn't mean we cannot start establishing such now. We were abridging the Constitution, we were abridging the law by doing so. So how about we forget about it not being established in the past, and how about we establish one going forward? And I think that's where the big uhaha and whatnot has been. Listening to the program last Sunday and how they explained it, because it keeps coming up and it keeps coming up, and I'm sure it won't be the end of that. Even when they go to trials, those who will end up at trials, I believe that will also come up. Now I'm going to move on and read, let me see, Ali Kamara, former resident minister. Okay, I've read that one. Abdul Karim Kalaka, former chief executive officer of Road Maintenance Fund Administration, January 2015 to July 2018. The commission notes that the only property discovered belonging to this person of interest is a two-story house located at Juba Hill, Kaloko Drive, Freetown, and was valued at, hold on, 4,985 million. The commission.
Whose number you read?
8.
Okay, thanks.
Commission, however, found no grounds to disbelieve his explanation of acquisition of this property, even if such acquisitions were within his period of tenure as chief executive of the Road Maintenance Fund Administration. Government accept this report. For all the foregoing reason, I find nothing colorable in the tenure of this person of interest insofar as his assets are concerned. Oluyemi Robin Coker, former Minister of Energy 2012 to 2014, government accepts the following recommendation. Real property, the only property revealed by the commission's investigation as belonging to this person of interest is a piece of land he purchased under a deed of conveyance exhibit BJ4 from Ernest A. Weber, dated 5th day of May 2014 at a cost of 20 million leons. This, however, raises no issue of accountability, since, as per the statement of his salary as minister, he earned a net amount of, hold on, 375,157,099,991,000. Exhibit BJ18, pecuniary property, a financial intelligence unit report, exhibit BJ15, and his bank statements from Guaranteed Trust Bank, exhibit BJ17, were tendered as in evidence, while some of the transactions stated in exhibits BJ15 may fall within the persons of interest tenure as a minister. They are stated in lump up figure, hereby rendering scrutiny, therefore, by the commission difficult. Exhibit BJ15, however, involves 4 different bank accounts belonging to this person of interest and can be of interest to the Anti-Corruption Commission. Exhibit BJ17, however, does not raise eyebrow, but can be of interest to the Anti-Corruption Commission. I stress that investigations into the assets of persons of interest were commenced before this commission at the tail end of this commission sitting, and therefore could not be gone into in details as regards certain matters specified in the report. Victor Bokarifo, former Vice President of Sierra Leone, 19th March 2015 to April 2018, the Commission notes that this person of interest was Vice President for a short period of time. From 19th March 2015 to April 2018, the Commission found it difficult to ascertain on the evidence the amount of money spent on some of the property he constructed, which commenced prior to his appointment as Vice President and completed after his assumption of office. Further, matching the purchase price disclosed by the evidence with what he earned in total, it cannot be said that they were not within his means. Okay. Government rejects this recommendation. Government directs the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate the assets of Victor Bokarifo, former Vice President of Sierra Leone, and particularly unexplained wealth and unjust enrichment. I make no adverse findings of dishonesty against this person of interest concerning his real property with regards to his movable properties. The time frame of this commission would not enable me deal with the same. Same may be taken up by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So here we see a situation where the government is rejecting the recommendation of the commissioner and saying, no, we must investigate further and look into things a bit deeper. Ibrahim Kemosise, former Minister of Works and Public Assets, Minister of Political and Public Affairs, and Minister of Transport and Aviation between 2007 to 2018. The Commission found that this person of interest has the following property: a house at Bintumani Ring Road, Aberdeen, Freetown, in the western area of Sierra Leone, valued at, 29,900,000,000. A house at 9 Wharf Road, Potloko, in the northern province of Sierra Leone, valued at 6,040,000,000. And another house, quote unquote, a hotel in Potloko. However, the commission found that his net salary, oh my goodness, what's this amount? Is it 1 trillion? Okay, I need to help me with this one. Let me count the zeros.
1,276,000,000.
1,246,640,000.
Yes, for a period 27 to 2018 cannot warrant the acquisition of this property by him, even though one of them was acquired for his daughter, Zoda K. Sise. Therefore, the acquisitions are wholly unexplained and unaccounted for, and must therefore have been dishonestly acquired. The government accepts the following recommendations. From all the analysis above, I find that the house at Bintumani Road, Aberdeen, Freetown, and the house at 9 Wharf Road, Potloko, were dishonestly acquired by this person of interest during his term of office as minister between the years 2007 to 2018 and should be confiscated and vetted in state. The total of his net salary, 1 billion, we just call him just now 1 billion, blah, 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 for the period of 2007 to 2018 as per Exhibit BH17 cannot warrant the acquisition of this property by him, even though one of them was acquired for his daughter, as Afro said above, a pecuniary asset. The Financial Intelligence Unit of Sierra Leone has submitted an intelligence report on the bank accounts of this person of interest. Exhibit BH21. His bank account stands as follows: Standard Chartered Bank, Sierra Leone, US currency. So he has $168,000 and 35 whatever. And then Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, he has something to the tune of $12,200. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, another account. So inside Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, he gets two accounts then. So another one is 638,820,000. Zenith Bank, it gets 905,850,000. And then it gets another 85,044,400 and and then another US account. How many accounts this one person gets? Anyways, they get another $11,800 US. First International Bank, it gets a tune of $2,109,927,000. And then again, oh my gosh. Okay, same accounts, it gets credit of $1,424,000. Oh, and a mortgage, commerce and mortgage bank account, it also gets money there to the tune of $1,448,594,000, something like that. Okay, the money then boku. So basically, this one person gets over this person gets over it because some of the accounts them, it gets sub accounts them, okay? So this one person gets over 10 accounts or close to 10 accounts, one green person. I don't know if anybody then at the West where we they work. If you get, say, you get on 10 or 2 different accounts, you go get at max 3. I don't know if anybody they will get about 10 different accounts, some of them sub-accounts within the same institution. So basically, going on, it just says that it is quite apparent that this person of interest has multiple bank accounts during his ministerial tenure between 2007 and 2018. Some were US accounts, while others were Leone's accounts, all with heavy deposits from undisclosed or unjustified sources. However, this commission is of the view that though heavy sums of money can be covered from this, can be recovered from this person of interest, the best course to take in fairness to both the state and the person of interest is for the audit service to conduct a thorough audit into the bank accounts of this person of interest as revealed by the Financial Intelligence Report Exhibit BH21 in order to ascertain the sums of money that should be recovered from him for the state. This is because Exhibit BH21 is a two-part. A report on the financial position of the person of interest submitted to the Office of the Attorney General dated 13th February 2019, and one submitted to this commission dated 11th July 2019. These two reports need to be reconciled. Okay, so I see waiting in the scenario. So even in the report submitted to the commission, a sudden mention is made to Rokel Commercial Bank. So we not even touch Rokel Commercial Bank. So apparently Rokel Commercial Bank. So that's why there is a need for reconcile both reports and see who side one gets until we not get, and put them all two together so it will make sense. Rokel Commercial Bank Limited, whereas it was not cited as one of the banks covered by this report. Vehicles. In Exhibit BH16, headed politically exposed persons and numbers of vehicles, this person of interest is listed as having two private vehicles and one commercial vehicle. No explanation as to their acquisition is forthcoming from the person of interest. They should therefore be confiscated and vetted in state. So, me people then, it's now the white paper report of Atuguba'S. Are they open the phone line? Anybody we want call get two minutes for make them tell we waiting and think. Mr. Istan. Yes?
1 minute, please. You understand it? I don't know if it's okay. Because since before the people then call, if you don't take time, I don't order, I will just give the total of all the money where this person of interest take, let people they understand. The total of all the money in salary where they pay them. If they put a number on dollars, what all the money you don't get in salary, if they change them to dollars, are $130,000 and 10. You see? Then, but if you
$130,000,
130,
okay,
010.53. That in salary where you get if you change them to dollars.
Right.
That was it. That was it roughly. Then, if you look now, you see. So if you look now, then waiting actually then say it take. Now 435,793 now it take $435,793.59 for somebody where they were in money 130,000 roughly. You see, intake 435,000. You understand? In dollars. You see, I get the figure in leons as well. You understand? Because in leons, in money where they pay now 276,604,610. But when you convert that one day now to the stolen, if I convert with it if now leons now 4,279,282,764. Now it take. You see, so if finally the people that know this money, you see, where they take. You understand it? So I can understand why somebody like this, if you know say you not get their money, then I think the quite right for let them go appeal the decision. You understand? You see, the quite right for appeal. You see, because the bandits give them, they get a party because they get the man high court decision. In decision making, they put and they say now on the high court equivalent to high court decision. So if any decision that is being taken in high court, then you get for apply to court of appeal. You understand? And for go appeal. So these people, they have every right to appeal this decision. You understand? For no if they take them or they not take them. But then they get appealing not a risk. You see, because you can go appeal, you don't know if the court will find in your favor or not will find in your favor. Now risk anyway, you see, but it won't take them if they no say they not take money. But if you not say take money, then maybe sometimes go negotiate and pay and full before you go put more trouble by yourself. That's for now. That is what me say, yes.
Exactly. So absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Iskandge, I want to come to you. So we see this last person in the report who is alleged, because we don't know if not true. Ibrahim Kemosi say allegedly we get over 10 different bank accounts them with heavy money them inside, properties here and there plus hotels allegedly. So all the money there we don't call, we already just know we Madam Kadi Johnson Cole. Over 3 trillion leons. Now boku money than they for make one person all nine and over a short period of time in office. 10 years or a little over 10 years in office for make you amass that kind of wealth there. And I'm not pointing an accusatory finger because they say, you know what, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Right
Well, I
now,
am.
accusing him of, doing something, of committing a crime. But for me, in my books, he's still innocent. Let him go to the laws. Let the law decide indeed if he is guilty of what he's been accused of. And then at such point, we go come and say, okay, waiting this commission find out, waiting the forensic investigators them and financial investigators them find out not true. So, but when you see these kinds of figures, me and for say we they working at this country, I mean, I don't know how much you make. If even self, it takes a while for you for make your account, so you don't find that kind of way. So what have you to say?
I will point a figure of accusation at Kemo Sise. Kemo Sise, right? He's a fellow that I knew when I was in Port Locon, a young man. During the APC, as my colleague and big brother, the council from North Carolina, say, during the APC government, there's this thing called the perception of corruption. You don't see many, I see many videos where that very Kemosi say they pull money out of Ghana must go back. They put on a table. And they tell people them, and they say they don't promote me to other department. Let's say I better know they do. How many of you remember that video?
Yeah.
Yes, is damn corrupt, and if he's found guilty, not only should he lose his the homes and account, he should be taken to the stadium and flogged. It's very corrupt. He should be taken. He should be locked up, jailed for corruption, taken to the given a jail sentence and a physical punishment sentence. Taken to the stadium, stripped naked in front of people. People pay 5,000 euros to come in. All the money you collect, you give it to blind school or deaf school so they can buy equipment. But flag them and teach them a lesson. The other day I was reading something from a guy from Singapore, a country that had.
Make we can play Mr. Iskandge. If you don't mind for hold on, I go ask the technical team. Make them play the video from Singapore where this man basically in less than 2 minutes describe how they weed out corruption in Singapore, and it was so brilliant. If the technical team no mind for play that video day.
Back long time. That if you want to, in a sense, eliminate corruption in a society, and we all want to eliminate corruption in a society, the most effective way to do it is to make sure you don't punish people at the bottom, you punish people at the top. I'll tell you one story. In the 1960s, when Singapore was a very poor country then, our per capita income was 500. A government minister was invited by a businessman to go on holiday. Just on holiday, no bride. He and his family went on holiday with a businessman. He came back, he was arrested, charged, went to jail. After that, no more corruption. because it's very powerful signal that is sent when you go after someone at the top. So Singapore's experience, and it's actually quite remarkable how you have almost zero corruption in Singapore, is because we decided that the example must come from the top.
So now, back to what I was saying. I sent this video to you because I wanted you to be aware of it. The problem with Sierra Leone is that we have failed, successive governments have failed to set an example from the top. Sam Sumana was very, very much involved in that timber sale. But there was only one reason why he was not arrested. Because the government was unwilling to make a decision from the top. Because if at that time he had been sacked, indicted, taken to trial, found guilty, and locked up, I can almost guarantee you, if you do that to 10 people in Sierra Leone, from the top down, I'm going to tell you, it will end corruption very quickly. Another thing that video didn't tell you is that in present day Indonesia, and I think even in Singapore, corporal punishment, public punishment, floggings is part of the law, particularly if you're charged with corruption. It's part of the law. I can almost tell you also that if you make the law in Sierra Leone public floggings, there is no human rights organization that can come in and say, we can't make our laws to fit our own societies. And when someone is charged with the crime of corruption, I don't care if it's a minister, you strip him naked, you put him on a carousel in the middle of the stadium, like Naban sets they play, and you flag him. And when you flag him, you put a microphone in his mouth. So every time we Allah say, why? The one old stadium where he say, hey, he's in pain. And the broadcasters, the way they broadcast them to the TV and radio, do not say, hey, people the way they listen na Kamabai, na Makeni, go say, hey, about this country, I don't wrong now if you thief, now so then they treat you. I can guarantee you, if we flag the first 50 people, I just want any government for take me up on this offer. We flag the first 50 people. Corruption they done at Sierra Leone fail. Who that one bet me? Nobody?
No, I agree with you that we need for take some draconian measures them against corruption in Sierra Leone. And I want to read the current president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, in statements. I will take the caller very shortly. I just want to read the statement by Nana Akufo-Addo. It reads, corruption fight. Let nobody say it is political. The trial of people for corruption is not a political trial. It is a criminal trial. We are not using it for political purposes. We are doing it to enforce the criminal laws of our country. One by one, the trial will happen. We are all in this country. We have nowhere to go. We will all see what will happen in this country. So that was Nana Akufo-Addo's statement when even they address and they talk about, weeding out corruption within state parastatals in Ghana. Most of we, they go Ghana, we love waiting to happen in Ghana, the transformation. I'm not saying it's perfect, but they have come a long way. They have their own wahala. They have their own inside trouble. But from the out, the onlookers, looking from the outside in, when you go, you see a semblance of development, a semblance of joy, a semblance of achievements. You see? So I think, at the end of the day, I am not saying that sometimes some of these things might not have political undertone, but make we always learn to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture, which is at the end of the day, my people, it no matter if you can't sit down at this country 19 follow go. Your home is your home. Your home is where you will always feel the most at ease. So let us try to make home comfortable, just as we have tried to make here comfortable. I will go to the caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who you the call from.
Hello, Matinda. Hello.
Yes. What's your name and who you the call from?
I call from Arizona.
Okay, wait till you get for we receiving time.
I just want to say thanks. I just want to say thank you to the moderator. Mrs. Cole, thank you so much for the things the way they put it. Where some we not be know na the white paper we at least we don't start for understand. Mr. Alio, the idea for make we apply the method and they you not feel say now the mob justice way first lady be used na similar thing. It's not the part of the constitution. The other thing we have one make we know is that there are people where they even just talk 2 houses for them. We're not to 2 houses again in that country. The COI not be able for dig so much into people in that country. Sometimes we not be new at SALONE. We know what will happen at SALONE. There are people who get 4 houses there, where they only work for 10 years, 12 years, where it's very impossible for them to show it their story. But by the commission, we dey see 3 houses, 2 houses, and then people they still they cry foul. No secret, not the people they teach, people they cause problem. Una more we support where they now first and war. That government not will be perfect, but if we support the present government, not go able for see how SALONE go before. Let the government able to support. You know, we say right day, more push the right day, and we say bad day will talk positively, more not be so biased by region or politics because we not support the person in political ideology. Please, as we talk man, social.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you for a point well made.
Can I be given an opportunity to address his issue that he raised?
At the end, sir, because we are almost running into time. So I'm just going to take a few more calls and then we'll address the callers and give our final statements. I will go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who say the call from.
Yeah, this is Mr. Sisele call from Canada. I want to first of all tell you thank you for this wonderful educative program. May God bless you. Me like one for I support the idea of the anti-corruption going after people and we don't work in government or public offices then. But as a development specialist, I think not to go after the people and we don't do or we don't work in a public places no more. Neither the role of anti-corruption. I think anti-corruption not for don't sit down wait stay where these people don't come on a power and that's ended them for making work strong. Never don't put system them in place where they ensure say corruption could be limited. You know, most of these places that what we did, you find out say everything is system. But if we watch they wait stay after the election, just not 2023, then they say they can't make other COI. Yeah. So what did they happen? We they make people and don't get all the opportunity for become corrupt, the one for draw them come back, so they can investigate them. So for me, I think waiting anti-corruption for the do at this point, after they run out of them people, yeah, then for them able for look assess the MDS them. Also they see loops all where they know say this they lead to corruption. They ensure say they put strict system in place where person not able for like a change them in one day. You know, these are the things where they make country go before. But if we always they wait till long, wait after 5 years, well, the government or after 10 years, we government come out, now they can't set corruption charges, they will begin trace them. Trust me, we always they waste a lot of money. Look how much money would always for the COI force than a one. Yeah, but we may not say ACC gets this kind of power. Why would not we don't empower the ACC for go after these corrupt politicians? Yeah, but we don't back now. We don't see don't so many corrupt practices. Then they go on. The auditor general reports the states them. Nobody know they talk. The way they don't pass 5 years back, one for call them will begin pay heavy money to international judges them or whatever for make them go for go sit down and investigate cases. Why we not sit down and able for bring out strategies, systems the way MDs they're able for transfer money from one place to the other will be very much strict and very way them able for the monitor them. Let's say you know they see the money, all my money in a card. You know easy for make you be corrupt so. If that kind of system then they say they're able for develop na SALONE, I think corruption go less. Other than with they wait stay away something don't damage or we don't well. That's a one for better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I will take 2 more calls for tonight. Just 2 more calls for tonight. Any other call, please bear with me. Write down your thoughts, and next week, those make sure say you call and bring your thoughts to the table. Caller, waiting on your name and who you the call from.
Yes, good evening, Miss Matilda and the rest of the panelists. I'll tell you plenty. Thank you. This is Nabendu from Kansas City. I just want for make mention, I mean, everything we have been really want for say the previous caller before me don't see him. But let we ask ourselves again, if it really economically okay for we as a nation for let we spend that kind of money there for do commission of inquiry, where if we put systems in place for prevent that from happening. I mean, this is my own question. And another thing, anytime when you talk, say, corruption in the country, where very evidence of even the layman within the streets, you notice say corruption day. Everybody they holler say where the evidence, where the evidence. Well, now me feel say now where the evidence don't come out. Let them publish them inside Mendel, or Limba, so Manica, any language where they inside SALONE. Let people they know what make the road them bad, what make schools them bad, what make hospital they not day, what make we they go Ghana for medical, what make things and day the way it day. Let the evidence be out there, let everybody know. So even the people the way they go jump and dance for them people they are, let them be aware. Then it will be a matter of choice for let them go. At least they are informed, they are educated to the problem them and how the problem they cause. Now that's me on take this evening. I thank you now all for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Bendo. Always informative and educative contribution. I will take the last call for tonight. Caller, waiting on your name and who you the call from.
This is Amara. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, wait till you get for it today.
All I would say, like this stuff they don't go on for too long. All this corruption they don't happen for too long. And just like within the other guy did they say, they should have put things then in place for kind of like solve this kind of situations there before they even happen. Now the problem is that party, it don't come out of power, and all of those people, most of them are out of power. And I think now what's in the need for really do is start from fresh, you know, making sure they have the rules and putting things in place where these kind of things they are not going to happen. Because if somebody don't already commit the crime, and some people they know, them crime that happen at Salone for a long time. People talk about it, they gossip about it, but nobody really did anything about it. So why all of a sudden now they want to do something about it instead of putting something in place and investing our money and putting something in place so things like this not going to happen? Just like the guy was saying, like, I think more what they need to do is more like paper trailing now. Everything way they do, make it happen through paper, like credit cards, like where they keep record, you know? Because if they always do things through cash, it's hard for make you track certain things and where they happen. But if they put like some type of banking system where like anything where they come out of the government, they go through some type of electronic thing, now you are able to track if something is going wrong or money is being spent where they're not supposed for go to spend the money, and then they go help the corruption a little bit, you know. And it's not only the government, also we the people also, when they see that kind of thing there, and most of the people that they support anything that they, just like where they be one now marking the whole situation what happened there. Look how disruptive and lawless people that be there yesterday. Like I say, like you committing fraud, it is okay, and most of that money will be used right back inside the country, but the money not be used. That's why they go most of the time they go backwards instead of going forward. Now the people then get for help also. It's not only like government. The government go playing part, but the people then need to stand up for their own right, you know.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. The phone line don't close for tonight. The phone lines are closed for tonight. I tell all the callers then thank you. They want them waiting a line, they wait for talk, and they're not able to get through. I am very sorry, my apologies, but hope say next time I go able come through. Now I want to give me panelists them just 2 minutes because we're running out of time. Please, just 2 minutes, and I will be very strict with the 2 minutes for address the callers then concerned. I will start with Mr. Iskandri. Another area if you dey talk.
Una, thank you for bringing me to the program. The caller from Arizona asks, say, if the things that women they suggest, if not to mob violence, make I explain the difference. Mob violence, now when you act extra judiciously, that means you not go through waiting and call due process. But if a man is indicted for stealing government funds and he's tried in an adversarial setting, he's given an opportunity to present evidence to exonerate himself. The prosecutor is given an opportunity to present evidence to convict. The prosecutor's duty to produce all evidence is met, which we call in the United States Brady discovery. And he has all his evidence that he has produced to show that he should not be found guilty of corruption. If he's found guilty of corruption, he's given 30 days to file an appeal. If he files that appeal within 30 days, the appellate court would be under mandate to hear that appeal within a 90-day period. Within that 90-day period, if the appellate court come and say you are the trial court was right or the jury was right in sentencing you, you file to the Supreme Court. When once you file for what is known as a writ of certiorari to the Supreme Court has 30 days, 60 days to accept or not accept your appeal to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court chooses to accept your appeal, they will sit on it. If they find that the lower courts, the appellate court and the trial courts were right, then you face your punishment. And your punishment should be 36 strokes of the cane on your hand, on your behind. End of story. If you do that to 50 people, corruption will finish in Sierra Leone. If you sack the first 20 people in government that you find are corrupt, corruption would stop in Sierra Leone. The problem is that we are not ready, we are not willing, and we are not able.
Okay.
We are unwilling.
Okay. Madam Johnson, cool.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
I agree with the caller. We say we for don't fight corruption, we not get for we say after the people they don't left office. You understand? You see, because that's one thing I've been saying anyway. You see, because if they're not left office, everybody go down pull it to get for pool anyway. So you they can now for campaign, you don't get nothing for fame. You get me? So we need to put modalities in place now for start for begin for tackle corruption. And I'm so happy that they played that video of Singapore. Because if you now watch all my audios, the appearances they want to make now, I don't talk all the time, say we get for fight if the top. Remember the squeaky clean. Yes, so I can say if the top squeaky clean, we go, everybody go follow suit. But if the top not squeaky clean, then everybody people no follow suit. You see, not me say the person they thief, but it get for getting with about and say, right, I want to do this, and I mean then myself not go do all the thing and they get me. So basically that's it. And then the guy will say we therefore we don't need we obviously we will get for put too much money there. But anyway, let me just round up now and say let me just summarize now and say this corruption here. So you see, me I strongly believe say if them people that will take with money, let them pay them back. And I believe say they make mistake in the first place. You understand? That is why we get all them complaining. Yeah? So at the beginning, you see, just like we, if they start with criminal indictment or something, you see, then we avoid a lot of things will happen. So you get me. But at the end of the day, again, they're not big feel to say criminal indictment was the best thing. You see, because yes, I don't know why. You get me. But as it is now, we can't go back now. This is how it is. So the only way forward now is let the people, anybody waiting me, they advise people then. If you know, say you take money, go make arrangement and pay some money. You understand? If you know, say you not take, then fight your case to the last penny where you get. Go to court, appeal, you understand? And get at the back of your mind, say, I can win or I not go win. It's because you don't know side the biscuits they broke. You understand? Eh? So basically, now that's me they say, you see, but let nobody not go accept something you know say you not do. Yes, they fight for them. But if you do them, it need not for let go fight. You understand? Eh? Just go pay all the money. That's all that they say.
Okay, Mr. Shillon, 2 minutes.
All right.
Opinion on callers.
Okay. For me, I always get one comment. We get a lot of bookmandem, but we're very short on common sense back home. That's why we not produce. I mean, you know what they describe insanity now for continue doing the same thing, getting the same result. This is now a problem in Australia. So maybe we need to inject a little bit of common sense into approaches to resolving something. I think we'll come up with different results. If they are going to open a commissions in the future, because although President Bio say this ain't want let this be the last commission, but it's kind of hard to do if we not solve the problem. I would think the process of setting ground rules should be ongoing even now. They're not for stop even after it's all over or for continue this. I like what the caller suggest. When you listen to Ms. Cady Cole breaking this amount into figures, and if they broadcast, I think one of the callers did, if they broadcast them here in different languages, let them people who they dance in the trees, then popo people understand how much these people have pocketed and how much, because they cannot relate to the figures, so they are just ignorant. So it makes sense, again, like I talk about to me, the common sense down there. Break them down into the local languages, broadcast in fact, I don't think some of the languages they even get vocabulary for figures of this amount, but then so for put them. So people then go understand the enormity of the situation. Not to dance stem this. All them people who dance, These guys are just terrible people, you know. So none of them people that that's not treat who are so supportive of Mr. Kuruma. He put a dime at the table other than a handful of friends and in close. But you see, ignorance is something. So people need to be appraised of that. And one other thing is, I think we cannot complain because the money has been used. It's been used into maybe not to the smartest way, and they forget judges them for come from abroad and pay all this thing. But like Donald Trump said, it is what it is. So we don't spend the money. We don't spend the money. Now, what we get for do? We get for learn from that. But I think, say the ACC commissioner, he need an increase in staffing, better trained lawyers, better trained investigators, better trained accountants, people, the team he needs, because if you're not strengthening the ACC office, you're wasting time. You know, they need that. The Auditor General need increase in staffing. Same thing, more accountants and everything. So they can able to do the job what they say the commission, then for do, no, so we're not going to get commission, but we're not going to complain about all this then if we not hire more people, more staff, competent people, then we'll go keep repeating the same error over and over and over because there are qualified Salonians all over. Exactly. And then, but one last thing, we cannot keep dealing with corruption and then leave out other aspects. There is corruption in the judiciary.
Yes.
So now we'll not just focus on just other public offices. The judiciary is very important because if you not read corruption from the judiciary, you're wasting time. The last time we get a broadcast about corruption in Parliament, that even when people are nominated to be confirmed, it's a standard practice for bribe every parliamentarian. These are ridiculous things. So with the talk about corruption, there's a lot of work to be done. So let we understand that. But these amounts of money, what would you see? I think the white paper is, I wish they had not gone to just put the report out there. Again, it is what it is. But let we try to make sure for say, but we're talking about large sums of money that these guys have stolen, taken, whatever you may say, they need to pay some, if not all back. So now with duty for support the current government, for make them try for come up with rules. Don't allow these guys to get away with technicalities, because that's why the lawyers are pushing so hard and they are doing what lawyers should do. If I represent any one of these corrupt guys, I'll be doing the same thing because they're my job there and they're my duty and to me. So me not got no problem with the lawyers then. But I think other folks then for understand that for say, the government needs some support. Where they don't make mistake, let we bring that up, like our Attorney Aliyu Iskandri say, but we have to make that be a leeway for letting get away with switching on a thief, then for payback. Okay,
thank you very much. I will make with technical team play the last video submitted on corruption. The last video, I think it was submitted by Mr. Shilon, the last video that was sent to me.
Thank you very much.
You can play that video even as we round up and as we are saying our goodbyes. If you can play that video, and then I'll give each panelist a minute to say goodbye. Just a minute, please. So if the technical team, let's just wait on the technical team to push that forward. Sorry, just give us a minute, viewers.
Sorry, the issue gets to do with sales of the Sierra Root tile. Where you go inside the government white paper, paragraph 18, we talk about the Sierra Root tile. They talk about secrecy and shady dealings where they happen during the sales, and safe paragraph B, 18B, they talk about the issues them and how illegal it be happen, and name certain people where the first person the first time president, and it's by Koma. It mentioned Dr. Samuel Kamara and John Bono Sisi. Where una the review according to your words, they say una the review back some of the investigation there. Una they investigate all them 3 people there, so or una they do it individually.
We'd already investigate. We already get conclusions there. And I can tell you for a fact
So how
that the Sarah Rutile deal was very shady. It was done without following proper processes. It was done without respect for the tax laws of Sierra Leone. For example, when they decided to reach the tax, the $8 million tax we then pay, I can tell you for a fact that Sarah Rutile be responsible for pay tax over $100 million. So how they reached the conclusion for Sarah Rutile should pay $8 million was completely shady, was irresponsible, was careless.
So quickly,
and as I can speak with you, all the authorities that were involved in that issue don't confirm that themselves. Some of them talk and say they could
confirm
not understand. They confirm say.
Okay.
I send to Mr. Kagbo right this moment.
Okay, so a little bit of a technical difficulty there in the background, viewers. Una just hold on for we just a little bit, and we go play the video. But even as we prepare for the video,
I sent to Mr. Kagbo.
Shilon just say something very crucial just now. He said we cannot keep fighting corruption just at one level. He said we for fight them now all levels. Now, all institutions, them. And, you know, I'm not going on a personal attack here because these are tweets that were out there. And so I was just looking at some tweets, even as waiting go on McKinney, even as the white paper reports come out, and everything else where don't happen, even since after the release or the publication of the white paper. So something funny happened today, and we're just there in line with, and here I am not saying this person is guilty. I am just saying when something look funny, it smell funny, sometimes you also have to look into it, and just in line with waiting, lawyer Shilon just they say, when we are looking at corruption, make sure say we look at them from all angle, all institutions, from everywhere. So somebody writes something today by the name of Andrew Lavalley. Andrew Lavalley today writes now in Twitter say, I've reviewed the 3 reports of the commissions of inquiry and the white paper time and again. And I saw no mention of money laundering. I only heard about money laundering in the BBC interview with the ACC boss yesterday. The issue of money laundering and organized crime are very serious allegations against former President Nkrumah that goes way beyond the day-to-day graft in the white paper. I therefore advise all citizens to monitor these cases with interest and understand the truth of the matter. And then as the thread go on, somebody respond directly now this, Andrew Lavalley in page for say, talking about unexplained wealth and money laundering. This is Andrew Lavalley's $5 million house at Hill Station. You want to talk about corruption and citizens' accountability? ? All monies collected in our name under the guise of civil society will be accounted for to the last penny. Accountability goes beyond holding government offices. Very interesting. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of it. But I just find them really, really interesting that, on one hand, somebody can purport something, and then on another hand, somebody else within the same thread, maybe not, it could have been malicious intent, or it could have been justified reason for questioning. They say, okay, look you where they talk. You don't think but waiting you they do? or waiting we know say you they do. So all that's come into, holding each other accountable, holding each other responsible and whatnot. Even before I end the program, I want to see if the video done ready, and then I will finish off. The technical team, is the video ready?
Now, another suggestion which is topical and has caused some controversy is I actually think we need lifestyle audits. I was Solicitor General. I worked as Attorney General. Why should I be afraid of being checked if I didn't steal? I should be asked what I have, how I got it, and when I tell you that it's from allowances, I should prove that. If I tell you I have businesses, let me show the businesses, but I should also show what tax I paid. We must all account for the wealth we have. Otherwise, don't go into public service. I have heard some rebuttals about this lifestyle audit issue and saying everyone should then do it. We can't target people. Does everyone handle public money? Those of us who choose to enter these public offices should be open to accountability. When you are in public office, you are not a private person. There is no privacy. If you drive a Range Rover, we want to know where you got the money. Because you are in public office. If you wear a Rolex, we want to know where you got the money. Otherwise, you don't qualify to serve, and you shouldn't serve in those offices. And that would be true no matter which party came into power. Progressive organizations do at lifestyle audits. I don't know.
So that's a very good, analogy there. When you are in public office, you are no longer a private citizen. You are no longer a private person. Everything you do should be accounted for. Everything you own, everything you acquire, everything you wear would be scrutinized and should be scrutinized for the people to ensure that when they put you there in that position of trust, you did not betray their trust. I will give me panelists then 1 minute for say goodbye for today until we come back again next week. I will start with Mr. Iskangi. Mr. Iskangi, 1 minute, tell family goodbye for the next.
Well, goodbye. I'm glad you want to listen to some of the ideas they will get. Me, your ideas they will get, now life-changing radical ideas. If any government will get sense, they want end corruption, make them start with my ideas. Meanwhile, at the end of this government, where the audit report don't come out say they now lost 82.8 million or somewhere thereabout. I want to begin flag from the top. Kandong. And so me say, what do you see?
Okay. And I will go to Mr. Shilon. Mr. Shilon, 1 minute, tell family then goodbye.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree with the gentleman from Zambia. I mean, just simply stated, or simply put, it's a matter of common sense. If you are going into public office, now for serve, and if you serve, you can't say you are above criticism, observation, or scrutiny. So my thing is, if you are not prepared, but you also shouldn't be going into public office and begin to live a lifestyle of the rich, where the lifestyle where you never get before, and then you say nobody should ask you that. But to me, now the brazen manner in which these guys are doing these things. You are a poor guy who goes into government, and then you begin for bill 1, 2, 3 oaths openly, notoriously. How contemptuous can you be of the citizenry? It's ridiculous. So anybody with the back then guys here and say they not do any wrong, then just not get a good grasp of the situation. That's all I can say. But we have to take corruption seriously. And there are many countries. They talk about Singapore, they talk about Malaysia, even Israel. Israel and get such strict rules. You can't even, if you're in public office, you can't have a foreign bank account anywhere in the world. So there are a lot of places we can look for example for incorporating into Williams system if we want fight corruption.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shillon. Now I go to the Mamina Power amongst the Mandem.
I agree with them. I agree with within the manner the video say. I agree with that very, very much. So I cannot dispute it anyway. But within I just want to say now in terms of all this corruption, yes, say we do corruption in various ways. Which reminds me, that excuse me, I just ask one question. You get me? Yes. Maybe I will deviate small, but just be at me. In fact, don't cross me mind now say, this government, they say they not get money. What happened to that diamond? Because they get diamond where that pastor begin when they say 80% goes to government, then 20% goes to the pastor. Then soon after the government go out of power. So when things happen, obviously I believe they go don't left that money they give this government. Maybe listen go don't left because if they're not left then this government supposed to don't ask. But the mere fact that they're not ask say now, then there's a possibility something if we don't hand over this money, give them. Food for thought. Well, goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I want to tell all my panelists them today, thank you. I know say most people then go wonder say, Matilda, a lot don't go on since the white paper come out na door. Why make you insist for go through the white paper? I insist for go through the white paper because obviously I not get the 500 or 1,000 page, 500 pages or 1,000 pages of, the actual report itself. Waiting we get right now, 9 we they work with, okay? I also know say some people and they make a lot of hoopla, they make a lot of noise about, witch hunt here, no witch hunt here, justice here, unfairness there, fairness there, and whatnot. But if we don't understand certain things, then some of the noise the way we they make, warranted. But if you understand, then yet still you decide for make noise, it is up to you. We see the money where, Madam Kadi Johnson Cole tally today. And at the end of these sessions, absolutely, my goal is to tally all of them money, whether they come in pounds sterling, whether they come in leons, and whether they come in dollars. All the figures them we shown at the 3 reports, they'll get for tally them all, and we get for whether a billion, trillion, whatever. I get people that always a big crack number. Then go help me pronounce the number they also attire. But we go make una know. Because some people and they just step and Allah, wait and see one person, Allah, then self, then jump na the bandwagon, then just the Allah, waiting and the Allah for, they don't know. It's just that like during the war, I remember, visiting my grandmother, I got caught up in the war there at one point. They say, then they come, Uda they come, then they come. Uda they come, then they come. And so I'll be sitting there for hours waiting for Uda they come, and I would never see them, the person that they come, but they will be shouting, then they come, then they come. So this is what, not to how they call them, diminish that situation, because it was a real situation that happened to people. But I just want for, contextualize a little bit. Some people, and they just say, somebody, Allah, why you themselves, Allah, why you, they don't know what to make the person, Allah, why you? But just for the mere fact that the person Allah wayo themselves the Allah wayo. Now that make her insist for read word by word, waiting then at the reports they are so. Even though I'm of the full knowledge that then report they are so that retracted version of the full version, which means a summarized version of what it actually did at the actual judges the report. I still insist for read waiting we get right now and make people then begin for understand, make people then begin for think. I could have just come and ask question based on what's in the report. But what good will it serve the people, the many that I know have never taken a minute to even open the first page of that report? So for me, education is power, knowledge is power. That is why I've taken my time, and I'll continue to take my time to read through every single line of all 3 reports until we get to the end. Yes, we will talk about what happened in McKinney. Yes, we'll talk about the publications of names of people who were not even summoned to the Commission of Inquiries, but whose name have been, appeared to be investigated, by the ACC and by the courts and whatnot. We will talk about all the back and forth. But there is a time and purpose for everything. We fumble them. Finally, we done Justice Atuguba in court. Next week, by God in power, we go inside Justice Bankole in court and see what the white paper say about in court. And just like we do today, now the same thing we go do again next week. But even before I go, me fumble them, listen, next week now my birthday. And I am Sierra Leone every day. I am Sierra Leone always. I'm a proud product of Africa, but I was made in Sierra Leone. It runs through my DNA every day, any day. So because of my birthday, every year I get, a fundraiser where I can do where now for the war amputees them, the war raped, war wounded, war orphans and war amputated in Sierra Leone. So every year I can do a fundraiser on Facebook. I appeal to una all the link, the technical team go put the link, una click on the link. Nothing is too little. I appreciate every little penny that you are able to spare to help our brothers and sisters back home. It is through no fault of theirs that they have found themselves in this situation that, part of their limbs were hacked. Some of them, they don't, they barely have a limb to stand on. And, some of these people have family. We don't lose too many of them because, they've not been treated right. They've not been treated properly. Most of what's been recommended by the Truth and Reconciliation report is yet to be instituted. And I sure say if we don't institute some of them recommendations there, so we not go fend we self now some of the situations them way we fend we self. But as a Sierra Leonean, as a Creole, I always try to do my part. So please help me as I do my part towards our brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone. Please donate to my GoFundMe. I do this every year for my birthday, and I'll continue to do so until, it is all well and good. So I thank una all, like as always, COVID real, Corona real. Please wash your hands. Please practice social distancing. Please wear your mask. Please protect yourself. And again, waiting we all defend this dunya, make God give we, make God watch over we all, make God watch over we families, then make God protect we, and make God in light always guide we in all waiting we do. Until we meet again, una thank you, and una goodbye.